The other day you said something that I knew was true for me, and that was that at a certain point in your life, what's bad that's happened to you, or pain that you're suffering, or just these terrible experiences bring you inward, bring you to Satsang.
Yes.
And
you can hear it. She says, the other day, something I said touched her, and that was that there comes a time, or many things that we have experienced, and sometimes things which are intense experience, traumatic experience, painful experiences, they also help and they serve a purpose to turn your attention inwardly. Like this?
Yeah. And when my physical body got in very bad shape, years ago, and it was progressive, I understood, I even said to myself way back then, before I was aware that there's a reason for this. I felt there must be a reason for this, and yet I couldn't find it. Okay. And I just thought, poor me, but at the same time, acceptance came.
Let me tell them, because you're saying also that when her body became not well, and it seemed like it was progressively not getting better, but being not well, something occurred to her even years ago that that there's a reason. There's a reason for all of this, but she could not grasp what this reason. What is this reason? There's something, and it must be about something why this is happening, but she couldn't get a hold of it.
And this year, particularly, everything that led me to here today makes sense now.
Yes.
And I'm thankful and I'm grateful, and I felt that way even in the midst of a lot of pain last winter and spring. I was thank you, and I want to say that I had the same experience last night. I walked a lot yesterday, not to mention up and down, which is more walking than I've done in 5 years.
Yeah.
It's been wonderful. I can't believe it. But I went to bed last night and I couldn't sleep. I maybe got 3 hours sleep last night because I was in pain.
Yeah.
My body, I couldn't sleep. And I was grateful. I was, thank you. No, it's not true. Thank you. No, it's not true. And I wanted to ask
what is not true?
That I'm not grateful. I'm not believing it because the pain is there. And at the same time, like today, I was a little bit worried about how I was going to make it through the day because I had something to do today that was physical.
Yeah.
And anyway, I'm kind of teary-eyed. I'm emotional.
Let me hold this for you.
And I don't know if I'm crying because I'm tired. I don't know how to be in satsang when physical problems are so there, and you're in such pain, and I'm thankful and not thankful at the same time.
Okay. All this pain is coming. Particularly yesterday, she was saying that she did more walking than she'd done in maybe 5 years or so. And it's great, but in the night, tremendous pain come and couldn't sleep, had maybe 3 hours sleep. And so there's maybe some confusion about this. You don't know how to be in satsang. You don't know how to be in satsang with all this pain. You don't know how to be. So something I sense in all of this is just such a marvelous opportunity for you. Actually, I know what you are speaking intimately. Sometimes when great challenges come, there could be great emotional pain, it could be a bereavement, it could be something is going on inside your body, but you don't know what it is. You maybe go to the doctor and he's looking at you and he says, I need to check you out, and something is fluttering, and You say, I want to see, because this could turn out to be just about anything. And you're on the end waiting, is it going to be this or that? Is it going to be a cancer? Is it going to be what, And you think, wow, dreadful experiences. But what chance for you? Because everything brings you to now. It takes away a lot of other distractions and it brings you to now. Your life is now. Your life is not tomorrow. You can be planning a trip next month or next year. We know life is palpable. It's now. Your breath is now, as it is for everybody. You see? And something gets a kind of focus, a kind of natural meditation comes out of this also. Then you come and you say, but now also on top of this, I don't know how to be here. Great. Right? You're here. You're here. Don't know how to be. Don't know how to be. You don't have to know how to be. Sometimes you have to offer up yourself. Sometimes you don't do this willingly. You see. Sometimes you are compelled to surrender something. Not you can even boast about surrendering. And again, when I say sometimes, leave your existence to existence. Stop trying to control. Offer yourself up. You see? Now you may say, well, I don't know how to do that. I say, well, actually, I got no instructions. You just have to do it. There's something primal inside that comes to that place. Sometimes in life, you're brought to a place where you're rendered completely helpless. Completely helpless, and nothing you can do. You run out of moves also. You got no options. The world fears this place. But those who hunger and thirst for truth, they appreciate this moment. Because sometimes in the moment of the greatest weakness, the greatest opportunity comes for you. The greatest insight. A surrender where all your bridges are burnt. And you have to be intensely alive in a way that perhaps you've never lived. I don't say that one has to always be pushed to the edge by intense experiencing. But something here is unfolding by the light and presence of grace. You don't have to figure it out. You see, just be here. Just be here. Yeah.
So beautiful. When I cry, though, I feel like I'm. Is it okay to cry about this? Because
about everything. You can cry about anything.
I feel like I'm crying about phenomenon. I'm crying about nothing.
My dear, you cannot. Well, you can cry about the non-phenomenal. Because sometimes you cry, there's no story.
I feel like
and you laugh and there's no joke. You see, like this. It's just happening, and something is watching, something is inside, it's not crying and not laughing. But it is somehow supremely happy. So don't bring this blame into it, like, wow, I'm crying about phenomena or whatever.
Yeah.
It's okay. The crying is happening, the laughing is happening, the pain is happening, the silence is there, like this. And again, the question is not different from the previous things I've been saying. There's a space inside you, maybe a dimension you can say, in which all of this is taking place and is perceived. But it itself is not participating. It's neither acting nor reacting. Yeah. It just is. Now the mind says, but there's nothing going on there. I can't be successful there, and I can't fail also, it's true. You see? But I can't be happy, I can't be proud. I can't even be I there. You see, like I is just seen also in it, felt also in it. I push for this, to baptize the mind in that water of the self, so that when you are fully stabilized with your attention, your mind and your being in that, and so all your fears are squeezed out. See, all your desires are wrung out, almost. But you're not wringing anything. This is the beauty, in a way, of a kind of an abandonment. It doesn't sound like a positive term. Oh, I've abandoned myself. I've surrendered. Surrender? That's giving up. Yeah, it's like giving up what is not true. Surrender is giving up what is not true, what is not real.
I can stop myself from crying. I should just cry.
Yeah, cry now if you want.
I could, but
too much good manners.
I think that's
okay.
because I say to him, I want to stop crying. I've cried so much. I'm so tired. I just want to stop. But
Yeah.
I see it as part of my whole cry.
More than trying to stop the crying, observe it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But not too closely.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
know? With
Yeah.
a bit of detachment, you know, he's crying, his body's crying today, like that. Sometimes you say, oh, the mind is, sometimes you get up, and this morning, everything you touch, you break. Excuse me. I better sit down. Oh my God. So what you're going to do, you can say, oh my God, I'm so terrible, nothing is working with me. You can go like this, or you can have a laugh about it. This morning is the morning for breaking things. It's happening like this. I'm not doing it, it's just happening, isn't it?
Yes.
So just be kind about it.
Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Then this also will pass. This also will pass. Everything will pass. Everything will pass. I told one time, I think it was in Satsang here, about this thing. That once, one king, he had a dream. He went to bed, had a dream, no? And in this dream, it was so intense, and he felt that there was something that was important to know. A human being can know, something to know. That when you know this thing, it is the answer for everything. So when he woke up, he was very excited. He says, I've got to know what this is. I've got to know that even in the most challenging situation, most challenging circumstances in life, then this thing, when I remember this and know this, then somehow it's fine. So he called all his wise men and even wise people from other kingdoms to come. He was a very powerful man. And he got them together. He said, he told them his dream, and he says, I want you to get together and figure out what is this dream, what is the mystery in this dream. I want to find out what is the thing that I must know, that doesn't matter what circumstances or situation happen to me, that this thing will be such a powerful truth for me. So go and think about it, okay? And I have to know this by, in 3 days you must find. Oh, 3 days, my Lord. Oh, okay. So they all got together, all the wise men, all these pundits and sages and monks and stuff. They all got together and they meditated and they prayed and they talked and they discussed and they had satsang about it. And then finally they came. On the third day, they all got together, Have you found it? Well, yes, my Lord, we found it. Okay. And we have engraved it inside your ring, what we have found. But you must not open it until you really need to. Oh, he's very excited. Oh, I like. Very good. Thank you. Okay, off. They're gone. Years passed. He never opened the ring. Years passed, never opened it. Then it came a time that his kingdom was going to war with another kingdom. And they tried everything to avert battle, but finally they couldn't. So now the two armies are faced on this huge battlefield, thousands of men. So much testosterone you can't imagine. Snared in horse, ready to fight like this. And then they blow the trumpets and charge. Big fight on the battlefield. People are dropping like flies. And after a few hours, this king, his army was being thrashed completely. Then his general came and says, "Your Majesty, I've gathered a group of men with you, 12 of them, to safeguard you. Go on, retreat. We will hold this. We'll hold them off." So they all mounted the horse and they're all gone. And then the soldiers stayed there fighting, but they couldn't hold the advancing army. And then they were finished. And now they saw that the king was escaping, and a group of men, they went after them. And days it went on, they're in pursuit of the king and his men. And over hills and down into valleys and across rivers they're going, and every now and again, one of the king's men down. 11, then 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3. And they're getting tired, everybody's getting tired. It goes on and on. Then another one goes. The king, oh my God, it's going. Then only one is left. And they're beating a retreat. And the people are coming, the army is coming. And there are many of them. Then the one is saying, "Your Majesty, go. If anything comes, I will take the arrow." Okay. He's gone. Now only the king is left now. And he's riding. The horse is tired now. And then they come to the edge of a cliff. And there's nowhere to go. So he dismounts. He's tired, the horse is tired. And his sword is broken. And so he turns around and he sees like 50 men coming to him. And he sits down. And he sits and he's waiting for them. And I think, the ring. Now he needs the ring. And they are closing in. And now he's there. Behind him is the cliff. In front of him, the enemy. Opens his ring. And he looks inside. And he sees this message. This also will pass. This message. This moment also will pass. Can you imagine? If he's wise enough, he will understand. Everything's passing. This body is like a burning candle. Also, it is also passing in front of your eyes. Our thoughts passing, everything subject to change, everything phenomenal subject to change. No matter how much you love a thing, you cannot keep unbroken contact with it. What is it that will watch all things come to pass? It's here now. It was there while you were sleeping, mind sleeping. During the waking state, it's there. It has no stories. It's not something merely to think about. Here now, actually, as your attention is a little bit introverted, you may begin to smell its perfume. A subtle vibration, subtle current. A space, an inner space. A stillness. An untouchedness. Inside of which all this is playing. It doesn't benefit, nor can it lose, nor can it be altered in any way. But without it, nothing else is. Knowing which, one's mind comes to rest, becomes free from fear of death, fear of life even. Anxieties cease. Duality becomes calm, soft. A kind of resignation happens inside one's being. You're fully alive, but not restless, not anxious. Even hope you don't need. There's a sense of deep contentment. A sense of completeness beyond even the concept of completeness. You don't need imagination for what I'm speaking. You don't need to be creative to create anything. A quiet joy. A space that has no edge, has no border, no boundary. Leave your mind alone for a moment. Don't even try to see it. Don't imagine anything. Sometimes you come to a place like this and a lot of stale energy comes to the surface. A lot of stuff comes up and it feels like, whoa, this is very hard on my body. But this is no usual sickness. It's just a kind of cleansing out of some psychic debris. They're coming out like that, being burped out of the beingness. And sometimes they have a kind of effect in the body where you may feel extremely tired and all pained up. But it is a sort of a cleansing. It's not that anything is wrong. Actually, something is right. Because sometimes these energies are there, undetected, but they're still somehow siphoning off energy from you. It's better to burp them out. It's almost sometimes like the beingness is vomiting out sometimes. Nobody enjoys vomiting. But behind it, what space? What kind of clarity? So don't back away, don't be afraid. Just somehow let it happen. And be only the witnessing of it. Be only the witnessing of it. There's nothing really. The mind tends to, like a reflex, go into the position of interpreting and what does this mean and how can I stop, and be aware of that. But don't fuel that. Don't energize it. Don't believe. Try and keep your attention in a state of neutrality. It's easy, it will be easy. because a lot of power is supporting you. Yeah.
I can sense it.
Yeah.
In the moment, sometimes when, but I wouldn't want to take it.
You can sense it in some moments. What I was saying before is still pertinent to you now. That which says my life, my body, my pains, my evening, this holding on to, this ownership, this copywriting your feelings and stuff. Just don't mind so much. Listen, even if this body has to go for the sake of truth, let it go. I've had to come to this. Don't be holding. Because when you hold your mind and identity so much, you become very tired. Very tired. Weary. Because you're carrying this monkey on your back, pretending it's your baby. And it's growing heavier and heavier. You understand?
Yes.
So it burns your energy. You're hemorrhaging energy. Because this idea, this identity, or this is me, and it's not you.
No.
It's not you. It's the dreamed you.
Yeah.
It's not true you. This is why I say, find that which is just effortless. If it feels difficult, then I will point you to a very simple exercise. Very simple exercise. Right now, even as we're here, you see. I would say just be aware of the feeling of being. Now we can do. Simply you're aware you're here. You're aware of your body. You're aware of maybe thoughts moving about, but right now you're not in service to them. You're only aware. The body feels a bit uncomfortable like this, the back is paining. Okay. There's just an awareness of that. But there's no move to go and serve that right now, except naturally if you twist a bit or whatever. And maybe some thoughts may come, but that's okay. They're regular visitors, they can come. But now I'm not giving any energy to this. Now I want only that you focus on the sense just of being here. Not being comfortable or not comfortable or wanting anything. Just the sense of being. The sense I am. Nothing more than this. And don't allow this natural and simple sense to connect with any thought, any intention at all. Don't combine it with anything at all. Just keep that sense by itself. Just by itself. Sense of being. Now, as I say that, like a reaction or a reflex, maybe some thoughts may come and, it's like it's knocking on the door to say, come on, combine with me. Play with me. But you are to be aware of that, but somehow stay in your unassociated presence. Just stay only as the feeling of presence. Even if you can do this for 5 or 7 minutes at a time. First time maybe you may find a lot of thoughts come, or maybe not. Just locate the sense I am. It takes no time. It's not buried under anything. It is just here. But usually our attention is caressing some other things as well. So we're having 3 or 4 jobs at once. So now you leave everything for one moment, only the feeling of being, which is not different from yourself. And stay only in that unassociated state. Some thoughts might come and say, okay, now what? Well, now what? You're just here. So now what has nothing to do with you. You understand? Because this now what is a pest. Okay? Now what? No, nothing. So you may hear this, okay, now what? And what's next? It's got nothing to do with you. You have to be able to be aware of this, and I want to tell every single one here that you are going to get to know the gremlins that's been living in your house just by this simple exercise. Find a sense of being. It's not even your breath. It's not even your breath. Your breath you can see. It's closer than intimacy. Just a feeling of being. It is effortless. That effortlessness is always underneath effort. In front, effort is being made by the mind. Haste is being made by the mind. But here, nothing. Be in this kind of nothingness. Like that. And then start to watch. Don't go out looking, but just be alert, and you start to see them coming. They come up inside your inner space. Okay, yeah, okay, so now what? There's nothing going on. It's boring, boring, boring. So don't buy any of this. It's got nothing to do with you. Stay only in this pure, simple state. More will come. More will come. You'll try many things like, it can even become like this. Can I tell you? It can even cause the phone to ring. Brrrr, brrrr, vibrating in your pocket. Okay? Yes. These things can trigger such things. And you think, oh no, emergency, emergency. It could be my mother. It could be my dog. Understand? So actually right now, no. Leave it, let it vibrate. Take the phone out, throw it and put it on the pillow. Can you do that? Keep being present. Stay as presence only. Don't even keep being present. Stay as presence. You are the presence. Other things will come, you see. You hear some wah, 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 wah. You think, what's happening on the street? It's not your business. You stay as only as I am. And gradually, by staying, you will come to a point where a sort of silence is present. Now, it may not be on the first time. So don't say, it's 7 minutes, the silence hasn't showed up. Okay? Just you stay with that. Get used to just being with that simple state of just being. Without expectations, just stay like that. After 7 minutes or so, you can get up, take a glass of water, go about your business, do what you want. But you will feel either from that moment or each time you sit with it, because the mind will tell you, haha, that didn't work. Yeah. It's time to do some mantra again and whatever. But you're just going to keep on at that. Just staying with this. 5 minutes, everybody can. If you cannot spare 5 minutes for yourself, you're in trouble. You have to be able to take 5 minutes from your kids, from your mother, from your work, from yourself also. Take a 5-minute break and be in this undivided place. Stay with it. But don't be waiting. Don't be looking at the clock if it's 4 minutes. All this is the mind inside your head. This is your TikTok life. It's doing this. So even if something is doing like this, there's a place inside which is not this, in which this is watched. That's this place. Stay there. And if you sit for 5-7 minutes, it will increase itself as you move about. You feel this state of peace. This sense of claustrophobia, which is the modern disease. Everybody is suffering from the disease of the lack of inner space. The head is full, and we don't know the difference between the mind and the self. And that. So this is a simple exercise that I would recommend, encourage anybody also to do. And naturally, when you're in the state where you're again in your natural calmness and isness, then even some thoughts will come, they will not trouble you. They will not pull you off like a big dog on a lead or something. Like this. And in that state of presence, unassociated presence, I call it like that, then everything else I have to tell you becomes very easy for you to assimilate. Because you're in good frequency. If you're listening with your mind, the mind is always commenting about something. Look at her. What about her? So pay attention. Oh, yeah. And you'll be like this. We know it very well. So this is a simple way of staying and recognizing that I am that. And as you become more centered, more stable, your mind becomes more stable in this, you'll find that your mind works in a new way, not as your taxman, but more as your servant. It becomes more clean, more clear, more light. And life doesn't seem so tight. There's more space. There's more freedom. There's more clarity, like that. And stay with this. This already is something great. At a certain point, it may become just totally effortless for you. That I don't want to speak too much about it. I want you to try it first. And get used to it. 5 minutes, 7 minutes. Just be with that. The pain is there. You don't say, I have to wait until the pain goes. No, with the pain. Let the pain be there. Find what is not the pain. But let the pain be there. Let them be there together. Sometimes we have a feeling that if some turbulence come, some shaking in the mind, oh, there goes my peace. No, it's the end of my sadhana for today. That is not true. That's a thought. And you need not to buy that thought. Restlessness can arise in a very peaceful state. Because the peace is greater. There is sufficient space in the infinity of being for every emotion, every movement to arise, to express themselves, to exhaust the expression, and to go back into silence. It is you who determine. If you don't touch the thought, oh, something is wrong, or this should not be, don't touch these thoughts. So anything can be. Anything can be. Any visitor can come, but nobody can stop over for the night. Everything is a tourist. Don't offer residency to any concept. Let them come. Come. And even say, well, we come, but we're not going. Suppose the thoughts come and say, we come, okay, well, it's okay. You can go now. I'm not going. What you're going to do? Okay, you can stay. Okay, I'll leave you alone for a minute. Can you do that? Then you'll find out which is the stronger, the thought or you. You can stay. You can stay. But I will serve you. I won't give you my attention right now. But you can stay. And see if a thought can stay without your attention.
Paradox. Stay.
No. It's not because of... Yes, it's fine. It's a kind of... You can say it's a kind of psychological trick. But it's not. Because nothing can stay without your cooperation somehow. It may not be a conscious cooperation. You understand? It may not be... But somehow there's an approval. Somehow. Or there is some link. Some kind of...
energy.
You're sponsoring somehow. Otherwise it has no power. All thoughts initially are equal in weightlessness. I say this. But when you believe in them, you combine your energy with them. Then you give them power. They run on phantom power because they have no power of their own. So effectively they are like a parasite. They cannot live by it, they have to live off you. Once you know this, something beautiful will happen. You see. Very good.
Very good.
Thank you.
Oh.